Welcome back to Caribidreams TV. I'm your host, Maurice John. Actually, Maurice, Mr. Property John. If you watch episode 2, you understand why I said that. And if you have not watched episode 2, you need to go back and watch episode 2 and episode 1. We are episode 3. Alright, so the format: inside, explain a video; outside, property tours. So on episode 3 now, we're going to be doing an explainer. So what is today's topic? Today's topic is buying a property in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, stop me if you've heard this, any real estate agent in St. Vincent. I want a piece of land. Well, let's back up. Phone rings. I want a piece of land. I want it in Prospect, somewhere close to town. I want to spend more than $50,000 and I need plenty space. The first thing that goes to your mind as a real estate agent: I don't do magic. Yes, people, so I don't do magic. But we're going to talk about this in today's episode because we're talking about buying property. I want to shout out at this point in time. I want to shout out my good friends at CASIP. Thank you for supporting Caribidreams. And right now I'm certain you guys are thinking, we're wasting money on this business or not. We did not waste our money on this business. Anyway, we reached far in the video. Have you not liked the video yet? Have you not commented? Have you not subscribed? Why are you not subscribed? If you're not subscribed, why are you not subscribed? What are you doing? You need to subscribe. Alright, so I'm going to take this very slow and make sure I get all my details in so that you could understand the process. We're explaining so that you will be informed and you'll make good decisions. Now, when you're going to buy a property, you don't just wake up a morning and say, I'm going to buy a property, and just go and buy a property. If you have plenty money, fine, you could go about it that way. If you're not buying cash and you're going to go to a bank, there are a few things that you need to consider before you start looking for property. Most people have the goal of owning a property at some point in time. You go to school, you work hard, you come out, you get a job. Some people go to university, some people don't. But you're working towards a goal of owning a home and starting a family. So when you're working towards that goal, you must have a plan. Now, buying a property, and I can't stress this any stronger, you must have a relationship with your loans officer. A matter of fact, let's go back even before that. Having a good relationship with a bank. Let's say you have your own business. Make sure you have your account set up. Make sure you have a savings history. If you work with the government or you work with somebody, of course your salary must be tied to the bank, or if they pay you cash. I know sometimes people just pay cash. Have that history of putting money in your account. So let's say you're working and somebody's giving you cash every fortnight. Let's say you're working a construction job, you're getting cash in your hand. I would advise you to go deposit that money and then use your card or go by ATM and then take it back out, so that it always creates a history, a trail of how much money you make, so that when you go in the future to buy property, at least the bank could say, this is Mr. X or Mrs. X history of saving. That's step number 1. So you choose a bank. Most people choose a bank that their parents are in, or for people who work with the government, is Bank of SVG. So choose a bank that you are comfortable with. You do your research, see which one has the best rates for you, and then you join a bank and you start creating a history of saving, so the bank will see how you manage money. Alright, so that's step number 1. Step number 2, I am of the philosophy that you try to make friends everywhere you go. My wife could tell you, if I go somewhere, I have a friend. If I go by the gas station, I try to make a friend. If I just walk down the street, I friendly. I try to make friends with everybody. Friendships help, especially when you're going to try to secure a loan for property. You need to go meet with the loans officer and sit down with the loans officer and let your loans officer advise you, okay, based on my salary, this is what I could afford. A lot of Vincentians sometimes bite off more than they can chew. It's not let me lie to my loans officer and don't tell my loans officer I have another loan somewhere else, or I'm paying quotes somewhere, or I'm paying Singer, and I come and present this wonderful amount of money that I collect every month, and the loans officer takes this wholesale and gives you bad advice. No, you come and you say, okay, every month I have to pay rent, this is my rent, I have to pay food, I have a Singer, I have this and that, so the loans officer can give you sound advice so you don't default on your mortgage. So that's the second step. First step, create that history. Second step, have a relationship with a loans officer. Before you even call a real estate agent, go meet with your loans officer, and you have to set realistic, very realistic expectations. I started off this video by saying a lot of people call and they say, I want a property in Prospect, I want a property in a nice residential area, but I don't want to spend more than $50,000. Or they will call and say, I don't want a property, I don't want to spend more than $8 a square foot per property. That doesn't make sense. Here's why that doesn't make sense. Because you could have a land that is 20,000 square feet, but people selling at $8 a square foot. That's a lot of money. But then if your land is 5,000 square feet at $8, is cheaper. So you need to know what is the dollar value you're going after. And the loans officer gets you what is the dollar value. So when you're going to a real estate agent, Caribidreams, of course, you could say, my loans officer said to me, based on the analysis of my income, I could afford X. Show me some options, X and under. Okay? So, first thing, second thing, nail that down and you'll be in a very good position when it comes to owning property in St. Vincent and Grenadines. Alright, now let me speak to my overseas clients. Now, in St. Vincent, I've spoken to loans officers at different banks. It varies from bank to bank, but there is a belief that there's a difference between a Vincentian buying a property and somebody in the diaspora buying a property. Now, when we go overseas, we tend to adopt the lifestyle of the people that we're around. So one loan officer, actually a bank manager, said to me, a Vincentian will do anything to protect their investment. Somebody who living overseas might just let the property go into foreclosure and let the bank deal with selling it. A Vincentian now, they will call up the friend, they will figure out how to pay the mortgage. So banks are less enthusiastic to lending people overseas money. So you have to understand that. So they will ask for more money up front from somebody living overseas. So if you are living overseas and you want to buy a property, step number one is very important. Establishing a relationship. I know when people pack up and they leave St. Vincent, they don't think about, okay, let me maintain ties to a local bank. So in the future, if I want to buy a property, that history comes into place, such an important part of buying a property. Instead of having to scramble, I see something online, I like it, I'm thinking about retiring, but I've not kept up with my banking for years in St. Vincent. So now you have to go and start a fresh relationship and try to figure out, how do I get financing? Because a bank, if you're living in America, an American bank would not lend you money to go and buy property in St. Vincent unless you're using collateral in America. So you have to consider these things for people living overseas. Yes, you move out of St. Vincent, but if you send a $2 or $3 home every month, so you develop and you maintain that relationship with your bank, then that will pay off when you see a property that you want to go after. You could go to your bank and say, look at my history, look at my work details, I want to buy this property. Alright? Now, if you are not a Vincentian living overseas, the process is a bit different. You have to apply for what they call an alien land license holding. So it's $1,500 US. You have to go to a lawyer, and the lawyer will help you apply for this license if you are not a citizen or you are not a member from CARICOM. So if you're outside of that and you come to St. Vincent, you come on a cruise ship and you say, boy, I love this country, I want to own peace, you have to go to a lawyer and you have to apply for land license holding. Alright, so those are the different categories of people. So you have the locals, we have the people who live overseas who have citizenship, and then you have the people who are not citizens and not of CARICOM. They each have different processes, but all applies. Get your relationship with the bank, know what your dollar value is in terms of borrowing, and you will be set to buy property in St. Vincent. Alright, so now you know what you're looking for. You come to me, you find the perfect piece of land. Now a lot of people don't understand what happens between yes, I find the piece of land, to I own the piece of land. So let me explain to you the process, and this goes for people who selling property and people who buying property. Number one, I will supply you with the deed, the survey plan, and the sales agreement. You now will have to now provide the bank with your work details, your financial history, and also the property has to be valued. Now every bank has a list of valuators that they approve of. Now there are the Republic Bank, First Caribbean, and RBT. They have a different system that they use, something called NAS, that is a Canadian system where the valuator sign on to them, and then the bank doesn't get to choose who values the property, or the client doesn't get to choose who values the property. They determine who values the property. So it doesn't make sense for me to give you a valuation that we already did, and then when you have to go to the bank, you have to do another valuation. Now, so outside of those three banks, the other credit unions, they are slowly moving towards not allowing clients to submit their own valuations. Now, that is important. Why? Because of course an asset as valuable to the bank's infrastructure as mortgages, we can't allow them to pick and choose which valuator. The valuator is a friend, so he gives you a better value and all of these chaotic things, and then if the property goes into foreclosure, it can't sell because it wasn't valued in the first place. So the bank are trying to protect against that, so that they're choosing the valuators either through the Canadian system or locally. They will choose their valuators for you, so that the valuators they'll go to the property and try to mitigate against any kind of favoritism or any kind of nepotism, any issue that could compromise the actual value of the property, especially if you're going into foreclosure. Alright, so now that I supplied you with the deed, I gave you the survey plan, I give you the sales agreement, you supply the bank with your financials. The bank goes and gets a valuation. Some banks still allow you to choose your own valuator, but eventually that will be removed. So what is the next step? The loans officer will then now prepare the loan, and then they will take it for review. If you are approved, there is a process. A lot of people think as long as my loan is approved, bam, I get the property. No, the mortgage has to be prepared. No, the banks do not allow you to select your own lawyer to do your mortgage, but to do your deed, the bank has a lawyer, yes, but you are free to choose whoever lawyer you want to choose to do your deed. That is where you could get some cost savings. Hey, my brother's a lawyer, so hit me up if you need a lawyer. So if you know a lawyer that could do your deed for a lower price, you could save some money on the legal part of the process by going to that lawyer and get them to do the deed. Now when that deed is prepared, there's also another process again. The government comes into play. The deed is submitted to the valuation department, so there's a second valuation that has to be done. So the deed is submitted to the valuation department. So let's say I am selling a property to you, my own property. I decide I'm going to sell you the property for $10,000. The property is valued to $50,000. The government guys say, wait, what's going on here? Why are you selling the property for only $10,000 and it actually valued $50,000? You're trying to rob us of taxes. So the valuators go out, they value the property, and they put their own valuation on it, because you have to pay 5% stamp duty. So the buyer has to pay 5%, the seller has to pay 5%, and those two come together for 10% to pay off to the government. That is why the valuation department comes in, so that they make sure that whatever you're selling the property at is the actual value of the property. And after that stage is complete, it goes up to the income tax department. So the income tax department now checks does this property have any owed taxes on it? And if there are any taxes, then they will keep it at the income tax until all taxes are paid off. So you have to make sure that if you're selling a property, you're not selling a property that has backed up taxes, because you will not get it sell. Income tax department will not release the deed until you pay up your taxes. And then it comes back to your lawyer, and then we're at the final stage. The seller signs the deed, boom, the bank pays the seller, and you now are a lucky owner of a property in St. Vincent and Grenadines. I just want to say thank you for being here with us and going through with us as we explain the process of buying a property. Now, yes, it might seem all complicated, but I think we did a good job of explaining to you the steps. Step number 1, savings history. I can't preach it enough. If you're getting cash in your hand, put it in the bank. Make sure the bank knows how you're saving, and try to save at $2 a month. Please try to have a savings pattern, so when you go to the bank and you want to borrow money, at least they could say that this person has saved his money or her money. Alright, so savings pattern. Talk to your loans officer. Don't lie to your loans officer. If you take out something by quotes, tell them how much money you have at the end of the month, so that they could give you sound advice and you're not taking more money than you could afford, and your property have to go into foreclosure. That's step number 2. Take that advice that the bank gives you and come to us and find that wonderful property. Then we send you back to the bank with all of the documents that you will need. Hopefully I get a call and say loan approved. After the loan approved, there are some steps before you get your property, so don't get flustered. Especially people who selling properties, don't get too flustered. It's a process. It has to go to the valuation department, it has to go to the tax department, then boom, back to the lawyer, so that the seller could sign and you now proudly own a property. Alright, so that has been another episode of Caribidreams TV. Folks, if you have a property that you need to market, you need to call me. 492-6128. My phone ain't ringing. My phone ain't ringing. What you doing? You didn't do it yet. You have to do it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, if y'all think last week's episode was bad when we went down to Pembroke, wait until you see next week's episode. You're gonna be crazy. We outside again. It's gonna be excellent. So watch this episode, watch every bit of it, and wait for next week's episode. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. Trust me, it's gonna be lit.